Good morning, happy Monday. I hope you had a fantastic weekend and are ready to face this week. Today I'd just like to talk about stepping out in faith. Is there something that God has laid on your heart He wants you to do? Maybe, for instance, he's put on your heart that He wants you to start a prayer group, or maybe He wants you to join a prayer group, or maybe He wants you to get involved in a Bible study, or maybe in the community there's a position open and you feel like you could have good influence there, and you feel like God's prompting you that way. Maybe there's a change of job in your future, or a change of location even, and be prayerful about those things. Maybe that God has just been putting people in your life, and you don't know God personally, but you can see that He's been orchestrating some things, and you've been, maybe hearing some messages, or maybe seeing, because creation declares His glory. Maybe you've noticed some things around you, and God is just pursuing you, and maybe it's time to concede to that. I encourage you, if you're in that position, if you want to live a life truly fulfilled, pursue what God has set before you. Go find out, go to God, get to know Him, because He created you and He has got the best purpose for you. But the thing I'm talking about mainly today is something that beyond a shadow of a doubt that God is calling you to do. And when I said, is there something God is calling you to do? There's something that in some of you that just clicked, went, there sure is. And why do we get a little hesitant about that? It's like we know this is the direction we need to go, and we're going to have to step out of our comfort zone and step out in faith and do this. And in my devotional, this was a few weeks ago, but it says, be determined to act immediately in faith on what God says to you when He speaks. And I was thinking about that. When God asks us to do something, He's getting ready to do something cool. Think about the Israelites and the priest when they were crossing the Jordan River. He asked the priest to step into the Jordan River at flood stage. This is not something that's logical. But when the creator of that river is saying, trust me, step into that river, you step into that river, and all of a sudden there's a great wall of water and the ground dries up. That's pretty impressive. That's pretty cool. How about Joshua? He's been in battle. He's led battles, right? He's a leader, and God tells him to march around Jericho for 7 days. And in his head, he's got to be thinking, okay, there's nothing that makes sense about that. Maybe he didn't think that. Maybe he had way more faith and he just said, you know what, God said it, I'm going to do it. But in my mind, I would be like, what kind of strategy is this? What do you have in mind, God, But he did it. He walked in faith, and he watched the walls of Jericho crumble. What an amazing thing. God has a purpose and a plan for us. And I think about Esther. She found out, or Mordecai found out, that they were going to destroy the Israelites, and she was in a position, because she was married to the king, that she could go petition him. But she had a dilemma, right? Because if I go before the king and he hasn't summoned me, he can kill me. This is a big deal. So I just appreciate what she did. She got the message, and then she took time and she asked her people to fast and to pray, because she wasn't 100% determined that this is exactly what she should do, right? But when she fasted and prayed, and Mordecai said to her, how do you know that God hasn't put you in this place for such a time as this? And if you don't do it, God will raise somebody else up to save His people. And I just thought, what? I want to be used by God. When God says move, I want to move, and I want to trust Him. And I can look at His Word, and I can look back at my own life and know that when God is asking me to do something, it's going to get exciting. It's about to get real, because something cool is going to happen. And I was just thinking about a couple of scriptures in Psalm 57, in verse 2, it says, I cry out to God Most High, to God who fulfills His purpose for me. God has a plan for us, and like I said, when He's asking you to step out in faith, He's got something good in store, and I'm excited to see that, because that is happening in my life right now, where I know that I need to take a step in faith, because God is ready to move. He just needs His people to get in the proper position to receive that blessing. In Hebrews 11:6, it says, and without faith it is impossible to please Him, for whoever would draw near to God must believe that He exists, and that He rewards to those who seek Him. There was a time in life where pleasing God wasn't my priority. It was more like pleasing man, pleasing people. And sometimes maybe it was just pleasing this person, right? But I've come to know that, if I seek to please God, He has really got a purpose for me. He's really got good things in store. Jeremiah 29:11, for I know the plans I have for you, and plans to prosper you and not to harm you, for hope and a future, right? So I want to pursue what He has for me. And I just really want to encourage you, if God is pushing you a direction, if you know beyond a shadow of a doubt that, yes, God has put this on my heart. You know what? Last night I was up at 3 o'clock in the morning praying about this. You know what, God, give me the courage, because now I know beyond a shadow of a doubt where you're leading. And I want to have the courage to step up and do what you're saying, because I know that good things are in store. Because when God asks you to do something and asks you to step out in faith, there's just some cool things in store. And I just pray that you, if you are facing that, if you are if you know God is pushing you a direction or showing you a way to go, that you just step out in faith and know that God has good things in store and that it's about to get exciting. I pray that you have a blessed day. You keep fighting the good fight. And Lord willing, we'll see you on Friday. God bless.